every one of us has a different path to set on. Every one of us has to discover their own path and their own dragons by their side. We all have different kind of dragons by their side. And I came to learn from other brothers and sisters that it can be so divided and so different from each other that sometimes even they gotta fight. And I actually don't like that, but it is how it is. We are all different, and our own paths are different, just the same as nature in itself, just the same as the elements together. And from the elements, you can discover who your dragons are, who the dragon is by your side, and especially who is your dragon god. Of course, I didn't came to know it with experimenting with the elements. I kind of know it from my guardian by my side, who gave me the instructions how to use the elements. Because dragons are amazing users of the elements themselves. But one of the elements is the strongest one of them that they can use, that they can empower, that they are one with. And one of these elements is very close to you. And you have to discover who your dragon element is or what your dragon element is. And elements doesn't stop with just fire, earth, water, and air. It can also have different elements, such as iron, such as wood. We all have even not discovered all of the elements in the universe, but each and every one of the elements has a main dragon god. I call them, for example, Quetzalcoatl, Tiamat, Fafnir, and Leviathan. These are the elemental gods. But there are several elemental gods. It's not just them. It's also other dragon gods who can also be one with fire, earth, air, and water. But which one is yours? Which one is responsible for your path? That is something for you to discover. For example, let's take the first. Fire. Fire, my brothers and sisters, is a very strong element, and without it, everyone would die. We all are all so afraid of the fire, and that is also the reason why they are so afraid of the dragon. Fire is fierce. Fire is everywhere inside of us. Fire is the sun. Fire is life. Fire, without the fire, we die. Of course, they will always say you go to the fire if you die, if you don't obey. Well, that is actually not true. Fire is redemption. Fire is salvation. Fire is what is inside of us. Not only for the warmth that is inside of us, but also from our soul. Fire is our soul. And what I call one of the gods of fire, that I call the god of fire, is Fafnir. He became one with the fire and one with his soul. And that is just a little trick, my brothers and sisters. If you just touch the fire of it, it come in touch with your soul. If you experiment with this, and you can have a lot of experiments with fire, you can summon the dragon with it. How to do so, that is completely up to you, because like I said, every one of us is different, and we have our own way to summon and to call up for the dragon. So don't see fire as something bad. Fire is actually a main element of all the dragons. Not that they will burn villages with it, but it just runs through their veins. And especially some dragons, also guardians by your side, can have their main element as fire. And fire in itself is, like I said, it's friendship, it's warmth, it's being together. It's not just fierceness, but also it's friendship, it's honesty. And that is also what these dragons by your side want if their main element is fire. They want honesty, they want friendship, they desire fire from you. They desire this warmth, and that is what you can also experiment with. You experiment with touching the flames. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid to touch it, because actually what is inside of you is one with it. And you might even call up for the dragon with it. Once your dragon is close, the fire will react with it. And from all of the dragons. But once your dragon is fire elemental, or different, if you or your dragon god is fire element, the fire will respond to it, and with going high and going everywhere. In my experiments, the fire also reacted to the arrival of my gods or my dragons, which says that there are dragons inside of my dragon's eye that are fire elemental. And that is, like I said, but it can also be because it lives inside of us, all of us. So, fire element. And then, of course, you have the wind element that I call the element of Quetzalcoatl. And also, this is the element that I call the compassion element, the element of empathy, the element of being someone else but yourself, of discovering, and the element of freedom. This is the element that actually goes through our lungs. This is the air that goes through our lungs. Quetzalcoatl, or there can also be other dragon gods that call themselves the god of air. They can have many names. They can have many apparitions. They can have many forms. The element of air is more than just a bird. It's a dragon, and that is also, yeah, they are much more empowered with the element of air than anything else. Doesn't mean that the other elements don't affect them, but this, once your dragon is with you and he or she is the wind or air element, you might even sense that there is no wind at all, that you can even sense them if they are close with just a breeze of wind, because they can blow into your face and you will notice that, because you're like, just like fire, your soul will respond to the air of the dragon. Your soul will respond to it and you will know it. It's actually that you are very close and very cold by the element of the air. Of course, this is an element that is being lesser felt, but in fact, it's just like a breeze of wind that goes to you. But in fact, it's your dragon that blows his wind or to you. And like I said, your soul will react to it. It's an element of empathy, an element of discovery, an element of pure wisdom. So, my brothers and sisters, the next one, water, the creator of life. Use the element that creates life. When you put a glass of water anywhere outside, there comes life to it. Because life and water is just the same, little molecules where we all come from. And this is also where the dragon swims in. The dragon swims in it, but in fact, what I call water is also dragon's blood. I call water Leviathan. Leviathan, inside the deepest of the waters of the oceans, lives Leviathan and is pathway to where the other side is. He's the guardian of all of it. Water is also the element of fierceness, just the same as that is why it's going against the fire, but in fact it's also like just the same. It's also very fierce, but it's also just like the other one, very loyal, very much loyal. If you just break the oath with water, water blesses. Water is actually the what you can see, the seal of the soul. And that is why sometimes in religions they like baptize you, but it's actually a very draconic behavior, very draconic ritual to do if you bless someone with the element of life, of water. The element of life in itself is water. If you bless someone, it's actually for protection, my brothers and sisters. That is where the dragon protects you. The dragon wants to protect you whatsoever. They are very protective. Water dragons are very protective and very territorial. And that is, they will protect you whatever the cost is. And that is of course with all of the dragons. You have to know the dragons are actually with all of the elements, even the unknown ones that you can discover ones. In the other places of the universe, they have different kind of elements, but they are all connected to the dragon. And to discover your if water is your element, just touch the water. You can feel the life inside of the water. You can, for example, if you want to touch a river, you should feel all of the fish inside of it, all of the life inside of it. A dragon can feel them, and sometimes the water calls for you. It's dragon's blood, and that is why everything that is alive needs it to fuel it, to remain alive. This is our fuel. This is the fuel of life. And this is also what you can call the dragon with, your dragon. But what kind of an element will call your dragon? That is what I'm trying to find out here. Actually, what you have to find it your own way. Just touch it. just the same thing. See if it responds to your soul. Just go underneath the shower. What does it say to you? What does your elements say? What does your instinct say? What does your feeling say? You have always has to ask yourself, what does it say to you? Does it talk to you? Does the water talk to you? Because in the end, it's actually the blood of the dragon. And then, of course, the soil. The soil, my brothers and sisters. The soil, the earth in itself, that I call my main dragon god, Tiamat. Whenever I came to discover this, Tiamat is also water in itself. Water, because she is also the oceans themselves, but it's actually that I see as Leviathan that swims inside of it. But Tiamat is everything that grows inside of the soil. It's alive, it creates life, just the same thing, and just why we need food to survive. Everything that grows inside of a tree, we can eat it and survive. That is also living inside of us. We just grow a pair of seed in just this lifeless soil that humans don't see any value in. But without it, just the same as these other elements, we die because this is what is inside of us. And has called me out, my brothers and sisters. The soil, the earth, the, the earth in itself. Whenever I was awakened, for example, I was drawn to the forest. But not only that, with everything that grows, it's like it was talking to me. Every plant, everything that was growing was just seemingly like talking to me. And it was the voice of Tiamat that was always calling to me. Of course, in the beginning, I didn't know that. Everything was unknown. I was stepping into the unknown. But whenever I touched the soil for the first time, because I was led to it, it was like electricity, my brothers and sisters. What I could feel was that inside of that soil that needs the water, that is also water inside of it, both were talking to me. And later I came to find out that whenever Tiamat arrived, I didn't even know that it was Tiamat, but everything that the energy from Tiamat herself, or the dragon god of the earth, the dragon god of the earth, was calling me out, and with the soil that I had, and all the rocks and all the stones and all the sticks that I gathered, it was all for free because humans don't see value in it. But I saw life in it. I was summoning Tiamat with it, and I didn't even knowing it. Once I was having these grounds and these earth elemental and things that I had from the forest put on my dragon altar, right in front of my dragon image, without even knowing it. I was connecting with Tiamat. Not only that, I unknowingly summoned her, and that was a new change, a new step in my dragon's path. And that I later came to find out this was the goddess of the earth. This was the goddess of the oceans. This was the goddess Tiamat, and this was my main dragon goddess. And that is how I came to discover and to find who it is, who is actually responsible of my dragon's path, and that is for all of us to discover ourselves. Because dragons, my brothers and sisters, they are so close to nature. You cannot even imagine how close they are. And we also can embrace and also unlock the power of the elements. The elements are living inside of us, in every living creature. The element is living inside of them as well, but they cannot unlock it. But you, who are so close to the dragon, are the direct child of the dragon god, nature, the creator of all life, the creators of all life, with all of their angels, which one or even several is by your side, to guide you, to aid you, to be by your side all the time, and also to guide you to the dragon realms. These are the angels, and these are the dragon gods that are so close to the elements of nature in themselves. Of course, every element actually cannot cooperate that well, because the element, for example, the water puts out the fire, and the fire will burn up the feather, and the soil will not grow with the fire, and or will not grow without the water. So they are all in conflict, but within you they come together. But which one is the on top of it? which of the elements is on top of it. Maybe it's an unknown element. Maybe it's even iron or wood. You might not know it yet, but it lives inside of us. And we don't have to have all of these rhymes together to summon our dragons. We don't have a book to summon them. No, just use the obvious. What is the dragon? The dragon is the closest to nature, and they are just by your side. But you have to find the key for putting this veil away, putting this gate between you and your dragon gone. And one of these keys elements are the elements themselves. You are a spirit or of a spirit of fire. You are a spirit of wind, air, or you are a spirit of the earth, or you are a spirit of the waters. You are a spirit of nature. You are so close to them. That is why people said dragons breathe fire. Well, in the end, they just don't breathe fire. They have all of the elements together inside of them. But there is one element that is the most important to you, for you and your dragon and your dragon eye. So one of these elements. So try it. Try all of the elements. Put them on your dragon altar. Put them in front of you and see what has electricity in them.